Gonna be some hardcore high MMR picks as we get off straight away with the Mirana pick on the Dire side, and the Radiant responding with a Sand King. Possibly the Mirana going to be someone who's roaming around getting the arrow hits off, or she could be looking to go to mid. Either one will work. And this Sand King could be looking to be a normal lane support and moving into the jungle toward the later with some stacks. Anything could happen at the early stages. And it's going to be a Winter Wyvern pickup from the Dire. That could be their two supports picked up straight away, or this could be a core Wyvern. But either way could prove to make Radiant think twice about their picks, with this Winter Wyvern ultimate being so prominent right now against the physical damage. And with the current way games are going with such early and mid game aggression, it could be that the Wyvern does very well in the early stages of the game, creates a lot of space, and then leads to the late game if it's needed. And the Storm Spirit being picked up at the Radiant, obvious middle pick, and already they have things like the Wyvern and the arrows that can hold the Storm Spirit. It's just a matter of hitting them. They might need some more lockdown if they want to keep him in place. But with the Sand King ultimate and the stun and the Storm Spirit, they've already got themselves some okay team fighting ability as they pick up a Lina as well. Could be looking at running the Lina mid with the Wyvern and Mirana as supports, which means they could be looking to pick up more cores, and it could be they want to go dual lanes. They've picked up a Bounty Hunter on the Radiant. Again, another very flexible hero. It could be that he's a roaming or a support or simply an offlane classic Bounty Hunter, which could be reasonable against this Mirana Wyvern potential lane. And a Bristleback picked up at the Dire. Probably going to be played as the off lane, whilst the Radiant pick up the Queen of Pain. More likely they're going to let the Storm Spirit take the mid lane, and the Queen of Pain will be the farming role on this Radiant safe lane. She should be able to do okay versus a Bristleback if he's taking this into the off lane, which it looks like he might be doing. Storm Spirit take the mid. Now Dire's pick, and they're gonna pick up a Centaur, so it could be maybe dual lanes, but maybe just the Centaur off lane with the Bristleback farming, Mirana roaming, Wyvern support, and the Lina mid. And on the side of the Radiant looks like it hasn't responded much to that. Looks like they have responded to that Wyvern pickup. They haven't got much in terms of physical damage. They've got two intelligence heroes, and then the Sand King, who, with his ultimate and Bounty Hunter of course doing a large hit to these two squishy supports, could be very prominent. And they've got a Weaver, so it looks like they could take the Weaver off lane, and this will be a Bounty Hunter. Or it looks like they might be taking a Bounty Hunter off lane or support, and this Queen of Pain will be farming this Storm Spirit, looking to head towards the mid lane. Sand King also being a support, and it looks like the Weaver will be on the core role. They might be running some dual lanes here, with the Bounty looking to be in a more support and roaming role. This Bristleback is going to be taking up the farming position, and it looks like they'll have the Mirana roaming around this Lina at the mid lane, and the Winter Wyvern prepared with the Dust of Appearance. Bounty Hunters are going to get in there straight away into the enemy jungle, getting around the back, and the Queen of Pain looking to contest this rune, but she's not going to be able to. They've got the Mirana and the Lina all surrounding this rune, whilst the Centaur gets an aggressive Observer ward off straight away as he heads towards the bottom rune himself. Bounty Hunter walking around the back. He's looking to get vision on any of these that he can. Bounty Hunter spotting out the Lina. Mirana leveling up the arrow. Looks like she's going to try and fire one off, and she manages to find the invisible Bounty Hunter, but it doesn't look like they've got any detection on them in order to get it. The Wyvern is coming around. He does have detection. They're going to use it to the slow as the stun gets off from the Lina and the pull from the Storm Spirit, not having the overcharge to help, and the slow coming off from the Wyvern as the Lina manages to run away, and with that slow and the dust, now they can see the Bounty Hunters. They managed to get the first blood out on the Queen of Pain, and now they've lost the Bounty Hunter as the dust has expired, but he lives on 7 HP as they manage to get one last auto attack off before he uses his Shadow Walk. And the Lina is going to use some tangos to get some more HP. And an interesting fight, an easy first blood for the Dire side. It was an exciting fight for the top rune. And it looks like Sent managed to get himself the rune at the bottom as well. With this ward aiming to stop the pull camp, as Queen of Pain is sitting in the off lane, and this is a Bounty Hunter. He might be roaming, it may be that he's just wandering back towards the base. Here's Lina managing to get her ass off on the Storm Spirit to keep him at those low levels. As the Wyvern is coming around, she has her Arctic Burn, but the Queen of Pain has the blink. It looks like it won't be much too trouble for her as they place down the aggressive ward in the lane so they can get good sight of that Queen of Pain. The Mirana sitting around the mid lane. She's fired an arrow, but she's missed it. Not getting anything from it as the Bounty Hunter heads towards the back, and the Sand King has the stun, and they use the Sakuchi to get on close to the Centaur War Runner, but he still has his stun as well, leveling up the return, and he's going to use his stun to try and get away as the Sand King doesn't have his stun anymore. He's going to walk away from this and pick up a tango on the tree, and the Mirana heading towards the bot lane now. She might be looking to help out this Centaur with an arrow, and if we can get the arrow onto the Weaver as well as the Centaur Stomp, he's also picked up a point in the double edge now, being level 3, and maybe that they'd be able to do something, but instead they fire off the arrow, but they've seen it. They can warn the Storm Spirit. He's not going to jump straight towards it, and they manage to get the stun off onto the Mirana now as they're taking the right clicks, and she lives on 2 HP as the Centaur stomps and gets that double edge off onto the Weaver, who was going aggressively. Bounty Hunter continuing to roam here. Wyvern going to stand in an aggressive position, just get some auto attacks off from the Queen of Pain, but it's not going to cause her any trouble. She's still got her blinkers. They get the slow off, but she's just going to be able to blink away from it easily. As it looks like this Bristleback is farming well as the Lina, and she's managing to get the hits off onto the Bounty Hunter with the Dragon Slave. And she manages to get the stun off as well. She's using her auto attacks, and she might one more auto attack, but using the ball he manages to cleverly keep himself alive on 3 HP. And it looks like at the top lane they managed to get a kill off onto the Queen of Pain finally, perhaps with the Mirana stun arrow. Sand King now making use of his Sandstorm to get a few extra jungle creep as he lets the Weaver have his own space to get some farm. As the Mirana sits out, she sends on the arrow, but it's not going to hit anything. It's just going to manage to latch onto that creep as Queen of Pain stood in a more defensive position, prepared for the arrow. And now the Bounty Hunter. So in the mid lane, he's going to take a bottle charge from the Storm, who's teleporting in as he goes invis, looking for the roam. The Mirana's going to find herself an invisibility rune on the top lane, and they don't have the things to see that she's got it, and the pull onto the Lina, but she manages to get the stun off, and the arrow hitting onto the Storm Spirit, and she might be able to get the kill off onto the Storm Spirit, but she dies from the Shuriken, and the Mirana is going to chase the Storm Spirit with the teleporting Sand King. Managed to get the stun off on her, but she still has her leap available. She leaps towards the Storm Spirit. She wants the kill. She gets the kill off on the Storm Spirit, and the Wyvern teleporting in and uses his heal. The Sand King doesn't have a stun available, and it looks like the Mirana is going to be able to get away with the kill onto that Storm Spirit. And good teleports in from both teams, including that Wyvern who got the slow off, managing to save him. storm bottling up, but it wasn't enough to help him. There's a few challenges on the top lane. The Bristleback is farming well. He's got those 25 creeps. And the roaming bounty hunter is going to head towards the woods again. He's level 3. He's going to see what he can spot. He's going to rotate towards the mid laner, having a look. He does have the point in the shuriken toss as well as the Janada, which would be able to get good kill off on it. Looks like the Mirana hit a stun arrow again on the top lane to the Queen of Pain. As Bounty Hunter seems to have spotted the courier, he's going to stand next to it, and it looks like he's going to go for the courier kill here, and he's going to manage to get it. Nothing on the courier as it just headed this way, and the Mirana trying to get an arrow out with the aim of hitting that Bounty Hunter, but they're not going to find him. They do have dust available if they suspect he's nearby. But he's just going to rotate again back towards the mid lane, but there's 3 of them there. As he walks, and the stun arrow hitting the Bounty Hunter as he blocks the arrow from the Mirana, just taking that tanked hit for his Storm Spirit. As Lina rotates, she's got a haste rune. She doesn't have her ultimate available, but she does have her stun and the Dragon Slayer, but she spotted the Bounty Hunter, so she's going to back off. The Wyvern also backing off away, and they're taking the courier around safely to the Sand King, who has managed to pick himself up some arcane boots, which will help him a lot for keeping his mana sustain. The Centaur doing well. He's got himself some tranquil boots. He's going to be slowed by the Bounty Hunter's hit, but he's going to ultimate away, stop himself from getting stunned from that Sand King. And on the top lane, it's Queen of Pain just taking another kill. The Bristleback Quill Spray just managing to get hits off, even though she manages to blink away and Scream of Pain twice. It looks like she tried to be a little too aggressive as the 5 stacks of that Quill Spray getting on top of her. And she's going to lose some more gold as more goes in favour of the Dire. They do have a lot more kills, and they're heading towards a 2k gold advantage at this 7-minute mark. On the mid lane now, it seems like a pretty balanced fight. The Storm Spirit with less deaths, but the Lina having a lot more farm, and in turn she's got enough denies off to deny that Storm Spirit a large amount of levels, while she is also kept ahead of him. Going for the aggressive ward on the Radiant Woods now, as the Sand King continuing to get some jungle farm off with the use of that Sandstorm. Weaver's going to move up. He's going to keep farming now. He's not farmed quite as well as the Bristleback, but he has managed to pick himself up that ring of health. As the Mirana fires the arrow towards mid, it's not going to meet the Storm Spirit as he backs off at the last second. Winter Wyvern and Lina together now. Might look to find something, but they're looking for the Sand King in the woods, and they don't spot the arrow. They don't spot the Mirana. The arrow is going to miss here, but he does have the stun available. They haven't seen the Bounty Hunter. They don't know he's here, and they do have the aggressive wards. And now Weaver gets his Sakuchi off. The Centaur's not going to look to stomp as Mirana spots out that Bounty Hunter again. Lina looking for it. She's just going to catch him in the edge of that Dust of Appearance and get the arrow hit off as well. So Winter Wyvern slow coming in, and they managed to finish him off with the help of that Lina slow and the Dragon Slave, getting a valuable kill off onto that Bounty Hunter with the help of that Dust of Appearance at the last second, as well as the Wyvern jumping over. Now getting a few auto attacks off onto the Storm Spirit, who hasn't farmed as well as he'd have liked to, only on the 26 last hits at this point compared to the Lina, who has managed 50 nearly. But very valuable to that team as they're both farming well. The Weaver not farming so well. The Bristleback is approaching the 60 last hit mark at 9 minute 30. And now they're going to jump in onto the Lina, but she's going to manage to get the kill off on the Queen of Pain, but she's taking the ticks damage, and the Winter Wyvern TP's in and uses his heal, and that's going to be enough to save her, even though she's still taking the damage from those ticks. But that's not going to kill her. So Storm Spirit jumps away safely, and the Centaur managing to get the kill off on that Weaver with the help of the Sentry Ward on the bottom lane. Now Sand King getting a few more stacks off, as he knows he can use the Sandstorm to get quite a significant amount of gold. They're going to head towards, he's going to find himself a double damage rune here on the Storm Spirit. Centaur being low, they're going to get the teleport support from the Lina as they're looking for the Bounty Hunter, and they're going to catch him onto the Sentry rune, but the Lina is heading towards him. He probably knows that she can see him as he backs away. The stun's still available, her ultimate not available for 18 seconds as this Bristleback chasing onto the Queen of Pain, and she is not going to live here at all, just getting the hits off as well as the nasal goo. On the bottom lane, they don't have any vision towards this part of the lane, and that's where the creep equilibrium in as the Centaur blinks in, gets the stun off onto the Weaver as well as the double edge, but in return the Bounty Hunter using the Shuriken Toss to get the kill off on that Centaur who had gone low HP under this tower. And looks like Lina is going to back herself off here as they don't have any Sentry Wards available, and both the Wyvern and the Mirana managing to get the kill off on this Storm Spirit. Whilst Bristleback is going to find himself some extra gold as he sits on those 74 last hits, and he manages to get the tier 1 tower at top. Lina is deep in the enemy woods here. She's seen the Sand King on the wards, but he's also spotted her out, and here comes a teleport from the Storm Spirit, and the Sand King missing the stun, but the Storm Spirit is going to be able to jump in if he wants to. They've got the track off on them, and 4 heroes now by way of the Radiant coming in, whilst the Wyvern is running away, and they casted the Yules onto the she self-casted the Yules onto herself to try and get the Mirana ulti off, but it's not going to help her as the Storm Spirit with the overcharged damage, the Remnant and the pull managing to get off a significant amount of damage, as well as the help of that Scream of Pain and the Burrow Strike managing to hit this time. Now aggressive movement as the Centaur jumps in and he blinks, but he doesn't manage to hit anyone with the stun as the Storm Spirit heads towards the Bounty Rune, but he knows the Mirana arrow was coming out as the Wyvern sits in the rush pit here, but he's been spotted by the Storm. He's been pulled in and the Remnant, but he's going to manage to get away over this cliff as he jumps up using his ability and heals up, but the Storm Spirit going to get up there and kill him. Meanwhile the Centaur stomping here, but he's not going to manage to get the kill with that double edge, but the Lina teleporting in with her Dragon Slave is, and she's going to get the stun off onto the Sand King as well, and the Queen of Pain taking the Storm Spirit taking the ultimate. As she slows her HP, she uses the Yules aggressively and manages to almost get stun off with it, but the Weaver going back in time to stop it, and the Bounty Hunter is going to back off here, but the Weaver's still looking for the Lina, and looks like he's going to manage to find the kill easily with those right clicks. She's going too aggressive. She maybe should have found her way out of there. Bristleback still farming incredibly well. He's going to be on 90 last hits now as we approach the 13-minute mark. Queen of Pain not doing so well. She's managed to pick herself up 7 deaths, of which the Bristleback has managed to find 3 kills from. Sand King now taking those stacks that he's farmed up with help of the Sandstorm. Looks like the Weaver is going to go nearby to try and get the XP. And this Bristleback is going to look to take this tier 1 tower as the Sand King and the Weaver head towards him. There's no blink by way of the Sand King, but he's just going to keep farming onto the lane. But there's 3 heroes now on the Dire side who are around. There's the Centaur, and they missed the arrow, but incoming the TP from the Bounty Hunter, and they found the Weaver when he comes out of the Sakuchi, getting the stacks off from that. Bristleback is now 3 versus 3 on this bottom lane as the Mirana comes in. The Lina comes in with her help and her stun, and Mirana arrowing, looking for the Storm Spirit. They've seen him coming, but he's not going to be able to find the arrow here as the Weaver jumps back in time for that full HP, and the Mirana ulti up. They could be looking to disengage, but it looks like they're going to aim for this Bounty Hunter. The Lina stun going to be enough, and the Sand King still hiding in these woods. This Weaver swarm not being able to pick him up, and they don't know he's there. And a TP coming in now from the Queen of Pain as the Centaur jumps and stomps onto the Storm Spirit as well as the Lina stun. He's not going to be able to get away as they get the kill off with the help of the double edge. And now the Queen of Pain blinking away, but they know where she is. They're going to destroy the trees here as well as the blink in, as well as the Centaur stomp and the double edge. Managing to get the kill off the arrow onto the mid lane, onto the Weaver, but it's not going to be a very long one, as he's just going to keep farming up. Three Dire heroes now looking to take this bottom tower as the Sand King continually goes. He's finally got himself that blink dagger and he has his ultimate, but it looks like they're not going to look to contest this as they move along and go towards the woods. The Centaur does have his blink and his stomp. They found the Sand King. It looks like they don't have any vision to spot him here as he Sandstorm stuns away and then blinks to get to safety. They're pinging, they know that the Dire team is coming in here, and the Mirana arrow hitting the Weaver, but it's not going to do much as the Yules goes aggressively as the Lina getting the kill off secured on the Weaver. They suspect he has the ultimate as well as the Winter Wyvern getting those shards off onto the Queen of Pain just to finish her off. Her taking a lot of damage from the enemy team there by way of the Mirana, Starfall and the Wyvern, as the Dire team managed to take this middle tower again. Stormsphere is going to look for himself some farm here. It looks like they're going to keep pushing. There's nothing that can stop them here. The Queen of Pain is down, the Weaver is down, and the Centaur is going to jump onto the Storm Spirit. He's not casting double edge yet, he's waiting for it, but the Storm is going to be able to zip away easily as the Lina comes in too late. But the Wyvern uses his slow and manages to find him, and the arrow just missing the Storm Spirit there. Would have managed to get the kill off. They do have Moonlight Shadow available, and that Lina ult is up, and they're going to use it now as they look for some kills onto the mid lane. They have an aggressive ward, but they know the Moonlight Shadow because of this Bristleback reveal, and the Lina is going to get the stun off onto the Queen of Pain, as well as the jump on by the Centaur Warrunner, and he's going to use the double edge to easily get a kill off, and the Wyvern is going to heal himself up there.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And they're going to find themselves a tier 2 tower at the top as well. As they just look for odd bits of farm, but being completely out-farmed, especially by this Bristleback, who's managed to find himself a lot of last hits, as well as heavy involvement in the kills, going 4-0-4 now. They could get quite a bit of gold from him if they manage to kill him, but it's not looking likely with the amount of tankiness that he does have. Now Mirana using the Invis rune, she's going to try and get the arrow off. It's not going to find anyone right now. And the Sen also looking to see what he can do, but they're going to be spotted out by this Observer ward here, and the Lina's going to find an easy kill off on the Storm Spirit with the help of her Dragon Slave ultimate and her stun. Centaur jumping with the blink for the stun, but he's going to miss it again, and the Wyvern doing a lot of hits of damage to the Queen of Pain, but the Sand King ultimate coming in and the stunning on the Warrunner, and he's going to survive with limited HP with the Wyvern heal, as they aren't able to get the auto attacks off, as the Weaver jumps in and they've got the Dust of Appearance on. They can see him, and the Mirana is going to fall from the Sand King, and Bounty Hunter right clicks whilst they survive on quite a bit of HP left, and in the meantime the mid tier 1 tower is going to fall from those creeps from the mid lane fight. And even more gold heading the way of that Bristleback. As we look onto the net worth, it looks like he's at 11k. He's double the amount of any of the enemy teammates, and even the Weaver and the Storm Spirit together don't add up to him, and the combined net worth of the Bristleback and the Lina reaching 20k, which is just about the same as the enemy teams. And a clear display of out farming and outplaying here. There's not much that the Radiant team is going to be able to do. They can keep farming all they want, but it's not going to prove to be much help. They might have to just try and sit in their base and fight here, as the Centaur manages to find the Bounty Hunter as he's caught out of the invis, using the Dust of Appearance to get the kill off. And now the push coming out.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack.
They've got ward vision all over the Radiant side here. The Storm Spirit just gonna pick off at this top tower.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
As they also look to take this bottom tower, and it doesn't look like they're going to face much contention. The Centaur jumping in for the blink, but he's not going to find anyone. They're just going to take this tier 3 tower easily, and it looks like they're going to go for the racks as well, as the Storm Spirit manages to take the tier 1 top. He's not going to help his team defend, as the Wyvern ultimate coming out and manages to get a kill on that Weaver, as well as the Queen of Pain falling from the Starfall and the Lina abilities. And they're going to take themselves the bottom barracks here. The Wyvern picking up a 4 staff, and it looks like the Centaur is Hood of Defiance, and the Bristleback now picking up the Skull Basher.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is
They're going to look to go onto the high ground on the mid lane as well. Getting the hits off on it, and there's not going to be much in the way of defense from the Radiant side, as the Weaver just sending out the Swarm, but the Storm Spirit on the top lane is going to jump in onto this Mirana. He's going to pull it, he's going to take the arrow hit and the Starfall, but in the end managing to get off the overcharge hits as well as his Remnant in order to kill her, and just a small pick off on the top lane as they continue to take these middle barracks.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Lina now, she's picked herself up a haste ring. She's going to hunt for the Storm Spirit, who she knows is low on mana, and he's going to jump over all the way towards the shop, and she's not going to be able to find him in time as he manages to TP back to the base. And meanwhile, just chipping away at the tier 3 towers as well as the enemy barracks. And it looks like this is going to be virtually a 25-minute GG.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
And Alina managing to find the stun on the invisible Weaver there, and using her ultimate to just finish him off. And they're going to get themselves Mega Creep easily from that quite a standard boring game here, as it's just gone incredibly in the favour of the Dire side, getting around towards that 17-minute mark, just completely going out of control, especially from the Bristleback, who's managed to farm up so well here as they hit onto the tier 4s, and this is going to be the Ancient and a GG.
Radiant's Ancient is under attack.
As it goes for a 24-minute game. GG. Both teams could have managed to do okay in this. It looked like okay drafts, but in the end, the Dire side just proving to be a fairly better draft and better playing from them, from the whole of the team, managing to push into them so early and do well. And looking at the GPM as well, that Lena and the Bristleback both having a large amount of GPM, ending up with their net worths both of them together being the combined amount of the enemy team. Well, that Lena and the Bristleback both having a large amount of GPM, ending up with their net worths both of them together being the combined amount of the enemy team.